You know, we all know someone like this. Maybe it's even you. You've got these incredible, just world-changing ideas. You can talk about the plan for hours, you can see the whole vision perfectly in your head. But then you look up and 6 months have gone by, and nothing's really changed. It is such a frustrating cycle, and today we're going to unpack the hidden psychology behind why that happens.
So yeah, why? Why do your absolute best projects, the ones you are genuinely passionate about, so often just get stuck? You've got the ambition, you know you have the skills, but when it's actually time to sit down and do the work, you suddenly find yourself scrolling or reorganizing your closet or doing literally anything else.
Okay, here is the big reframe, and this changes everything. This isn't about you being lazy or undisciplined. The psychology behind this points to something way deeper. You're not avoiding the work because you lack motivation. You're avoiding it because you've become addicted to your own potential.
So let's dig into what that actually means. We're going to start with what I call the potential trap. It's this tricky little mental loophole that feels really productive, but in reality, it keeps you completely 100% stuck.
All right, here's the definition. This addiction to potential is basically a state where your brain gets way more satisfaction from the idea of success than from the messy, imperfect reality of actually achieving it. I mean, the dream in your head, it's flawless, it's exciting, it's totally under your control. The real world, on the other hand, well, not so much. And here's the kicker. This is how our own minds trick us. When you spend hours just visualizing your success or telling your friends about your grand plans, your brain actually releases these little satisfaction signals. It feels like you've already made progress, which, ironically, just kills your urgency to take any real action. And all of this builds into this incredibly powerful feedback system in our brains, the mental reward loop. This explains exactly why dreaming can feel so much better than actually doing. So just look at this internal battle your brain is facing every single day. Dreaming? That gives you an instant hit of satisfaction. It's totally safe, it's controlled. But actually doing the thing? Well, that means delayed rewards and a whole lot of uncertainty. Your brain is wired for efficiency. So, which path do you think it's going to naturally want to take?
Yup, it all comes down to brain chemistry. See, just imagining success gives you a quick, easy shot of dopamine. That's that feel-good chemical. It's a lot like the instant gratification you get from scrolling social media. Real creative work, on the other hand, requires sustained effort, and its rewards are way further down the road.
But there's an even deeper, more emotional reason we get stuck in this loop. It's not just about getting easy rewards, it's about protecting ourselves. And this brings us to the fear of being flawed.
I mean, think about it for a second. As long as your masterpiece is just an idea in your head, it's perfect, right? It has no flaws, no mistakes. But the moment you actually put pen to paper, or you start writing that first line of code, you introduce the risk of imperfection. You risk it not being as good as you imagined it.
And this right here, this is the heart of the self-protection strategy. This quote says it all. By just staying in the planning phase forever, you're protecting your self-image. Because if you never truly begin, then you can never truly fail. And if you never fail, your identity as someone with amazing potential gets to stay perfectly intact. So then, this fear, it starts to feed a cognitive pattern that I think a lot of us know all too well. Let's look at how our own thinking process can sabotage us in a cycle that turns simple analysis into total paralysis. Does this sound a little familiar? You start by mapping out every single tiny step. Then you analyze everything that could possibly go wrong. This constant mental churn is just exhausting. So by the time you've considered all the angles, you've completely drained your mental battery, and you're too tired to even take that first step. And this pattern, it's especially common for people who are highly analytical, or maybe a little too aware. Your brain is a powerful prediction machine, right? It's constantly building patterns and trying to solve problems before they even happen. The trouble is, the project feels like it's already underway in your head, which makes the actual starting point feel absolutely overwhelming. Okay, so we've seen the traps, the loops, and the fears. But how? How do we actually break out of this cycle? This final section gets to the absolute deepest root of the issue, and it shows us a path from dream to done. So here it is, the most crucial point. Often, the biggest barrier isn't the task itself, but a fundamental misalignment with our own identity. Your brain will naturally and powerfully resist any action that doesn't match how you secretly see yourself.
Let's break this down. If you hold a secret, core belief like I'm just not a disciplined person or I never finish what I start, your brain will actually sabotage your efforts to maintain that identity. And these beliefs, they often come from past experiences, like maybe being criticized a lot as a kid. So in a really strange way, succeeding actually feels like a threat because it forces you to become someone new. And this is just so important to understand. Your mind isn't your enemy here. It is not trying to make you fail. It's trying to protect a version of you that feels familiar and safe, even if that version of you is unhappy or unfulfilled. It's a survival mechanism that has just outlived its usefulness. But here's the truly good news in all of this. All of it, the fear, the overthinking, the self-sabotage, these are all learned patterns. And maybe the most powerful truth in psychology is that anything that has been learned can be unlearned. You are not permanently stuck.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. The dream in your head will always be perfect, but it will never be real. The real world is messy, it's flawed, and it's uncertain. So the question isn't whether you have potential. The real question is, what reality are you willing to build even if it isn't perfect?